Live from Brent Goldfield in Liberal, Kansas, we are about set to go for the Larks' first doubleheader of the season, taking on the Liberal BJs as we welcome you into the pregame show. My name is Hank Corsair. The Larks coming off of a four-game series against the Game Day Angels, where they went 3-1 in that series, getting their fourth run rule win of the season in their last outing, 13-3 win over the Angels. Looking back at that game, it was both teams trying to feel things out at the start, scoreless through the first two innings, but the Larks would pick things up in the third inning, scoring 2 runs and holding that lead for the remainder of the game. But then in the fourth inning, they would score 4 more, building on that lead thanks to runs from Thomas Lissy and Paul Smith, as well as RBIs from Lane Sparks and Trent Baker. And through those first 4 innings, a lot of that credit has to go to the starting pitcher, making his first start of the season. Nolan Wilson went 4 innings of work, no hits, no runs, no walks, and had 7 strikeouts in that game. And from that point on, the Larks were able to control the game. They put up 2 more runs each in the 6th and 7th inning. Also in that frame, the Angels would have 1 run each in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, but the Larks would put up 3 more runs in the 8th inning to get the run rule victory by a final score of 13-3. And also, just recapping the series as a whole, pitching, as we noted, Nolan Wilson's performance in that last game, pitching made the difference through the entire series. Looking at the numbers, the Larks only allowed 22 hits and 19 runs, or 14 runs overall, and recorded 50 strikeouts in the whole series. And the Larks were able to bring home a lot of runs, scoring 32 on the series. And as we noted, they had their 4th run rule win of the season over the Angels in that final game. But when the Angels were able to keep it close, they were able to get the win in that second game where they defeated the Larks 3-2. But as they currently sit 3rd in the RMBL standings, they are looking to build back after falling below 500 for the first time this season. And tonight, the Larks are in action against the Liberal BJs, who enter this game at 7-6 on the year, coming off of a 4-game series of their own against the Colorado Rough Riders, where they went 1-3 in that series, and just trying to build back from that and get back to their winning ways. This is a very young Liberal team, which features 15 freshmen, college freshmen, and high school seniors. But for this team, their key to winning games is to get on base, and they have great field defense as well. And we'll see how they put that into effect tonight, as we'll have a doubleheader tonight. It'll feature 2 7-inning games. And yesterday it was postponed due to rain in the area, as the Larks will be playing on a dirt field tonight. And we are exactly 11 minutes away from first pitch, and we will have that for you when we come back. The Larks are down in southwest Kansas, and they are about set to go for the first of 2 games today in their first doubleheader of the year. As we welcome you into our coverage of today's game on the Larks Network, I'm Hank Corsair coming to you from Brent Gold Field in Liberal, Kansas. And the Larks will face off first against the starter for the BJs. That is number 43, Jason Davis, the sophomore right-hander from Missouri City, Texas, making his 3rd start of the season. And the first batter he's going to face in just a second is number 12, Caleb Duncan. And we'll also read off the remaining order for the Larks right here. On deck and batting second is Lane Sparks. Trent Baker is the designated hitter today, batting 3rd. After that, Garrett Gruhl will be in the cleanup spot at 4. Thomas Lissy, number 15, will bat at 5. Tabor Stokes will be batting 6th. And then rounding out the rest of the order for the Larks is Paul Smith, Lorenzo Rios, and C.J. Reed. It is currently 5:05 here in Liberal, Kansas, as the Wichita State Shocker Caleb Duncan makes his way up to the plate for his 16th plate appearance of the season, facing off against the sophomore from Weatherford University. Jason Davis, we just mentioned, this is his 3rd start of the season and the 5th appearance he's had on the year. He's held his opponents to a 200 batting average and a 1.74 ERA as he delivers the first pitch, finds the outside part of the plate, and that is strike 1. First pitch is officially at 5:06 p.m., a little bit nicer weather than what the Larks had in their prior series. It's 84 degrees at first pitch, a lot of wind, and it's very cloudy with 16-mile-per-hour winds. And the count's now going to stand at 0-2 to the center fielder, Caleb Duncan. His batting average is right at 500 on the year, has gotten a hit in every game that he's appeared in the lineup. As Jason Davis will deliver the 0-2. Duncan will take a swing at this one, and it goes out of play, and the count stays at 0-2. Here's the outfield tonight for Liberal. The left fielder tonight is number 8, Jake Ortega. The center fielder will be number 21, Jack Ryan. And in right field is number 1, Kyle Sandner. And we'll give you the infield in just a second after the pitch. Davis gets that one on the outside, but Duncan fouls it back, and that's back-to-back foul balls. The third baseman tonight for Liberal is number 15, Landon Bruce. Next to him is the shortstop, Matt Burneth. The second baseman will be number 20, Drew Grego. And at the first base spot is number 24, Justin Hudson. And the catcher for Jason Davis is number 26, Drew Garcia. The 0-2 on the way. This one goes right back up the middle, past the glove of Davis. It's fielded by Grego. Gets it down to first base, and it is in time for out number 1. That one made contact with the pitcher, Jason Davis's glove, slowing it down a little bit, but running up for it was Drew Grego, making the play in time, and with one away, that'll take us now to the left fielder, Lane Sparks. Sparks coming off a game for the Larks where he reached base twice and also recorded an RBI and a run. Playing in his 13th game with the Larks this season. The first pitch, half-hearted swing, but this one's going to stay in fair territory, rolling in the infield grass, and making the tag is Justin Hudson, and there's now 2 away.
Batting in the third position, number 2, designated hitter, Trent Baker.
So I'll bring up now the designated hitter, Trent Baker. This is the Larks' first time playing in a dirt infield this season. So it's something they're not used to yet, as they're working with 2 outs. This one goes on the outside for ball 1. Second pitch on the way, finds the zone, and that will be strike 1 to Trent Baker. This will likely be Trent Baker's 50th at-bat of the season. That one again finds the zone down low, and now Baker has to fight back against the 1-2 count. On deck is Garrett Gurl. Thomas Lissy is in the hole. Jason Davis delivers. This one will bounce foul and keep the count at 1-2. Baker with 13 hits on the season and a .265 average. Looking to stay alive as this will be the 5th pitch of the at-bat. It's on the way. He'll line this one on the right field line, and this one will bounce foul once again, keeping the count at 1-2. Landed by the Larks bullpen, another RMBL rival that has their bullpen in the field rather than having it fenced off. Slider missing outside, keeps the count at 2-2 as Baker tries to fight back. What we're being told is Trent Baker will also make the pitching start in the second game, which will be up after this. This one catches the outside part of the plate, and they're going to get Baker looking for out number 3. The Larks go 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first inning, but they will send Dalton Campbell to the mound when we come back. Matt Burneth will be the leadoff batter for the Liberal BJs as we start the bottom of the first inning, facing off against Dalton Campbell, making his fourth start of the year. The count will begin 1-0 to the shortstop. Campbell, a perfect 3-0 on the year, has been very successful. The team leader in strikeouts at 25, holding his opponents to a 160 average. Going up against a freshman from Point Loma Nazarene. Matt Byrne is playing in his 10th game of the season with the BJs. He now stands at a 2-0 count. So on a line drive near the Larks dugout will be the first strike of the at-bat to Matt Burneth. Here is the rest of the order for the Liberal BJs. On deck is number 15, Landon Bruce. After that will be number 20, Drew Grego. In the four spots, number 24, Justin Hudson. Batting fifth is number 39, Carson Willis. Rounding out the rest of the order is number 26, Drew Garcia. Number 21, Jack Ryan. Number 1, Kyle Sander. And number 8, Jake Ortega. As this one, a ground ball sent back up the middle, puts Burneth on base for the first hit of the game for the BJs. So Liberal will work with a runner on as they send up the third baseman, number 15, Landon Bruce. Sophomore from Norman, Oklahoma. He's an uncommitted JUCO sophomore from San Jacinto, played in 47 games this season. Finished with a .231 average and 21 runs as well as 33 hits. And so far this season, he is the leader in runs and walks for the BJs as he'll start with a strike with a count 0-1. We'll give you the Larks defensive alignment in just a second as Campbell delivers the pitch. This one, a ground ball. Tabor Stokes will run up for it. He will throw it down to first base and get the one out for as Matt Burneth will advance to second base.
Batting third, number 20, second baseman.
So that'll now bring up the second baseman from Papillion, Nebraska, Drew Grego. Will be playing at the D1 level next season with Nebraska after a successful high school season at Bellevue West. Working with a runner at second base, which is Matt Burneth. Missing outside, the count will start off 1-0. The Larks defensive alignment looks like this. The left fielder is number 8, Lane Sparks. The center fielder is number 12, Caleb Duncan. And in right field is number 25, Paul Smith. Thomas Lissy is playing third base and Garrett Gruhl is at first base. And on the inside, as usual, is the shortstop Tabor Stokes and number 1, C.J. Reed at second base. Catcher tonight is Lorenzo Rios as he received the first strike, making the count 1-1. Campbell looks back at second base and then takes another look. That one finds his own and he gets ahead 1-2. Against the high school senior from Papillion, Nebraska, Drew Grego, who leads the team with a .436 average as well as 17 hits on the year. Campbell kicks and deals. This one will get away from Rios, and that gives Burneth plenty of time to steal third base and move the count to 2-2 for Drew Grego. Working with 2 strikes in the count, Campbell's been very successful this year, leading the Larks with 25 strikeouts, including 24 in his last 3 games coming into today. The pitch on the way is a line drive that goes into close to Liberal's dugout. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up next for the second baseman. That one, a ground ball, goes right into Campbell's glove. He looks back at third, delivers to first, and there is 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning, keeping the runner at third base. The Larks just needing one more out to retire the side as Justin Hudson will make his way up to the plate.
Number 4 position, number 24, first baseman, Justin Hudson.
So it is the first baseman, Justin Hudson, up to bat. playing in his first game of the season with Liberal. Just finished this season at the D1 level in the Atlantic Sun Conference with Queens. Count will begin 1-0 to the first baseman. He is a junior from Colorado Springs. Started in 52 games this season with the Royals, and now the first strike moves the count to 1-1. This one will bounce foul and move the count to 1-2. Liberal got their leadoff batter on base to start this inning. He is currently at third base, trying not to leave him stranded as Liberal tries to get the first lead. That one just misses the outside part of the plate. Now the count is 2-2. Liberal trying to bounce back, coming off of a 1-3 performance in a 4-game series with the Colorado Rough Riders. They were able to get the win in the final game of the series by a final score of 22-12. And both Campbell and Rios thought that one was a strike, but I guess the umpire thinks that one was a little bit high. The count is now full. Campbell looking for the final out, and that one is put up high and outside for ball 4. So Liberal gets another runner on with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in the lineup, Carson Willis. Redshirt freshman for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Designated hitter, Carson Willis.
He's played in 12 games this year with Liberal. That one misses high and outside. The count starts off 1-0. Willis has 14 hits on the season, giving him a .311 average. He'll foul this one back, hits the top of the netting, and moves the count to 1-1. Justin Hudson will take a short lead off first base as the pitch on the way is a line drive that goes into the outfield as Sparks will run up for it. That's going to score 1 run and give Liberal the first lead of the game with their runners stopping at first and second base.
Batting in the 6th position, number 26.
So Liberal trying to get a 2-out rally going as they bring up the catcher, Drew Garcia, to the plate. First one misses down low, starts the count off 1-0. Garcia, a freshman from Corpus Christi, Texas, was a redshirt this season at the JUCO level with Blinn Community College. He's now working ahead at 2-0. The runner at second base is Justin Hudson. Over at first base is Carson Willis, who just had that RBI single. Campbell watches second as the pitch is on the way. Gets the outside part of the plate and ties the count up at 2-1. A hard ground ball fielded by Tabor Stokes. He will give it down over to first base where Garrett Gurl's standing. And there is 3 outs here in the bottom of the first. But a run does score for the BJs, taking the first lead from Matt Burneth off of an RBI single from Carson Willis. And we'll see what the Larks do next with batters 4, 5, and 6 up next. We welcome you back to Liberal, Kansas as we start the top of the second inning after the BJs took the first lead of the game, scoring 1 run on 2 hits and leaving 2 runners stranded, as the Larks will send up the UTSA Roadrunner Garrett Gruhl to the plate. Still facing off against the starter Jason Davis. The first pitch of the inning will miss down low for ball 1. Garrett Gruhl in his second game as a Hayes Lark this season, was an NBC All-American last season. And he'll get ahead 2-0. Davis looking to fight back as he sends the ball away. And that will be called a strike, the first strike of the at-bat. After Garrett Gruhl for the Larks is Thomas Lissy, who's on deck, and Tabor Stokes is currently in the hole. Davis puts that one on the inside, and it hits the arm of Garrett Gruhl, and he will walk down to first base. So the Larks work with their leadoff runner on base as Thomas Lissy comes up to the plate. Once again playing third base for the junior from Incarnate Word, also resides from Harlingen, Texas. Lissy went 1 for 3 in the Larks' last game against the Game Day Angels with 2 walks and 2 runs scored, as well as a single and an RBI. Trying to advance Garrett Gruhl, and this one misses high and outside for ball 1. Davis sends the ball to the plate. Lissy shows bunt, pulls it back, and it finds the zone, moving the count to 1-1. Davis in his third start of the season for a Liberal team that is very successful at the plate with 136 strikeouts so far this season through their first 13 games. Trying to improve their standings in the RMBL, entering at 7-6 on the year after starting 5-2. As Lissy waits for the next pitch on a throwback after a throwback to first base. Lissy will take a hard swing on this one into right field, and this one will go over the head of Sandner. It went farther back than he thought he was going to, as Gruhl's going to make his way to third base. Lissy will round second. He's going to try to go to third. The throw will go home, and they will tag Garrett Gruhl out for the first out of the inning. But it's a triple for Thomas Lissy, working with the runner in scoring position, as Tabor Stokes will come up to the plate next. And that one looked like it was going to be a routine play in right field where Kyle Sander was standing, but then as it got closer, he put his glove higher up in the air and it went over his head, and that gave Lissy the triple. And with one out, Tabor Stokes is at the plate, coming back into the lineup after playing as a courtesy runner in the last game against the Angels. I'll leave that first pitch on the outside of the plate for ball one. Stokes will hit this one high in the air into right field. Sander this time will run up on it. He'll make the grab. That's going to give Lissy a chance to tag up as he makes his way home. It's caught by the cutoff man, and that gives Lissy the time to slide in home safely and tie the game up at 1 run apiece. Sacrifice fly there by Tabor Stokes. He now has 9 RBIs on the year, and the next batter up for the Larks is number 25, Paul Smith.
Position number 25, right fielder Paul Smith.
Swing and a miss to start for Paul Smith. Right fielder coming off of a 1 for 4 performance against the Angels, which included a single and 2 runs scored. Count now stands at 1-1 as the Larks trying to get a 2-out rally of their own. Liberal was faced with 2 outs and was able to get 2 runners on base in the last inning and score the first run. Smith fouls this one back. And that one, I think that went through a hole in the netting and it landed in the stands. That's going to make the count 1-2. Or correction, someone actually just dropped something right as the ball went back. It stayed in the field, but either way the count is 1-2. That one finds the outside part of the plate, and that is out number 3. The Larks are able to score a run to tie things up. Thomas Lissy got on base through a triple, and then was brought home by a sac fly from Tabor Stokes. Liberal will have the bottom third of their order up next when we come back. The center fielder from Phoenix, Arizona will lead off the bottom of the second inning for the Liberal BJs, and that is Jack Ryan, starting with a 1-0 count against the starter Dalton Campbell. This next one hit hard into right field. This one will drift into foul territory, and that's where it will land, moving the count to 1-1. Jack Ryan, we just mentioned, from Phoenix, Arizona, played this last season at Point Loma Nazarene. Played in 29 games this season. This is his 13th game of the year with Liberal. He will now work against a 1-2 count. As Campbell looks for his first strikeout of the day, leading the Larks this season with 25. This one a fly ball into right field. Running up for it is Smith, and this one will take a bounce, and it's a leadoff single for the Liberal BJs in back-to-back innings.
Batting up in the 8th position.
Next up will be the 8th batter in the order for Liberal. That is number 1, Kyle Sandner. After this, it'll be the final batter in the order, Jake Ortega, and in the hole is the first batter in the order for Liberal. That is Matt Burneth. Missing up high and outside. Count now will start at 1-0. Kyle Sanders, one of 8 Liberal players coming from the state of California. This one, a ground ball, will be fielded by C.J. Reed. He'll toss it over to Tabor Stokes, over to Gruhl at first, and the Larks are able to turn a double play. Campbell tried getting it. It went past him, but C.J. Reed came in to help, tossing it to his college teammate Tabor Stokes. And the Larks have 2 away and looking for a 3-up, 3-down inning with the final batter in the order coming up to the plate.
Number 8, left fielder Jacob Ortega.
We're actually going to say that Jack Ryan will be safe over at first base, or at second base, excuse me. So there's still just 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Count will begin at 1-0 to Jake Ortega, freshman from Chico, California. Entering this game with a .300 at batting average and a .436 on base percentage. A swing and a miss on the inside, but that will be strike 1. Now Campbell finds the outside part of the plate, and he will work ahead at 1-2. Rios wants to try to get it low and a little bit on the outside. That is where it will be positioned, but that will be called ball 2. This one will be a line drive going into foul territory. The 6th pitch of the at-bat will be up next to the left fielder, Jake Ortega. Larks looking for the 2nd out of the inning. Curveball misses outside, and the count will now be full from Dalton Campbell against Jake Ortega. This is the 2nd Liberal batter to go up against a full count tonight. The first one walked, and this one will walk as well as it misses on the inside part of the plate. That'll bring Liberal back to the top of their order with the shortstop, Matt Burneth. He had a single on a 2-1 count as the leadoff batter in the 1st inning, and now the Larks will have a mound meeting here as Keith Harper will make his way out. We will be back in just a second following the meeting. So following the short meeting, Matt Bernath will be the next batter for Liberal. Freshman from Riverside, California. Campbell watching second base. Delivers the first pitch, and that one misses outside for ball one. The runner at second base for the BJs is Jack Ryan. The Larks, it looked like they had turned a double play to get Kyle Sandner out at first base, but I believe what happened was when C.J. Reed threw it over to Tabor Stokes at second, he didn't touch the bag when he made the catch, so Jack Ryan is occupying second base with one out, and at first base is Jake Ortega. This one a fly ball into center field. Caleb Duncan will track it down, and he will make the grab, and there's two away in the bottom of the second inning, as that'll now bring up the third baseman, Landon Bruce.
Number 15, third baseman, Landon Bruce.
We'll see what Bruce does this time around. He grounded out to Tabor Stokes in his first appearance, trying to get the runner from second home. And the first pitch will be called strike one. Campbell continuing to watch second base as he sends the ball to the plate. High and inside. The count now stands at 1-1. Landon Bruce, a sophomore infielder from San Jacinto. Played his high school years in Norman, Oklahoma. Now swinging a miss, and the count stands at 1-2. Campbell looking for his first strikeout. Liberal's done a good job of putting the ball in place so far. But Campbell just looking to find the zone and get out number 3. He delivers the pitch, and a swing and a miss, and there it is. His first strikeout of the day, leaving 2 runners stranded. He retires the side, and when we come back, Lorenzo Rios will lead off the top of the third inning for the Larks. Liberal was able to get 2 runners on base in the bottom of the second inning, but they will leave both of those runners stranded as we go to the top of the third with Lorenzo Rios leading things off against the starter, number 43, Jason Davis, for the Liberal BJs. That first pitch misses outside. The count will begin at 1-0 to Lorenzo Rios. Tight game so far, which is something which a lot would expect tonight. Between two teams that do a good job on the pitching mound and also are able to score a lot of runs. We'll see how the rest of it plays out. It's a 1-1 count now to Rios. A reminder to fans, this game will only be 7 innings long because of the doubleheader. Second game will follow immediately after. C.J. Reed is on deck for the Larks. Caleb Duncan, the leadoff batter, is in the hole. Low and outside. Rios tied up in the count at 2-1. This is Rios' 50th plate appearance of the season. The 12th game that he's played in. He's done a good job getting on the plate with a .438 on-base percentage. The count now going to stand at 2-2. And a swing and a miss, and that is going to be out number 1 to start the top of the 3rd inning. As next up to bat for the Larks will be number 1, C.J. Reed.
C.J. Reed, second baseman, number 1.
Reed went 1 for 4 in his last game, had a walk and an RBI single. Batting 9th in the order for the second time in the last 3 games. In the last game against the Game Day Angels, the 4th game of that series, he was batting in the 8th spot. Count will begin at 0-1 for Reed against the Missouri City, Texas native Jason Davis. That one misses down low, and that is going to be ball 1. Reed is back at his usual second base position spot tonight. In the last game, he played at shortstop, which is the 3rd different position that he's played this season. Leaving that one on the outside. Another Lark will start off 2-1. Catcher Garcia wants it low and mostly down the middle. So it goes inside, and that'll be ball 3 to C.J. Reed. Larks will go back to the top of their order after this at-bat with Caleb Duncan on deck and Lane Sparks in the hole. That one will be called high and outside, and C.J. Reed will make his way down to first base. He's now walked in 6 of the last 7 games that he's appeared in. The Larks are back to the top of their order with Caleb Duncan.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Hayes Larks, number 12, center fielder, Caleb Duncan.
So Duncan will work with a runner at first base and just 1 out. Put the ball in play as the leadoff batter in the 1st inning. Throw back, not in time. C.J. Reed is back safely. Davis delivers. Ground ball over to the shortstop Burneth. He will throw it over to second. And Duncan's going to get on base for a fielder's choice, but the lead runner is out, and that's 2 away here in the top of the 3rd.
Next up, number 8, right left fielder.
That'll now bring up number 8, Lane Sparks for the Larks. The Wharton State Community College alum who's going to play at Lamar next season down in the Southland Conference. Swings and misses, starting the count off 0-1. The pitch on the way. Caleb Duncan will make his way down to second. This one will get away from the catcher. And Duncan's going to stay at second base. Larks dugout was yelling for him to stay at second. I'm wondering if he thought that one was a foul ball because it went past the catcher. But either way, he's got a stolen base, making that his fourth of the season. Count is now 1-1 to Sparks. That one missing on the outside will be called ball 2. Another one missing low. Sparks now ahead 3-1. Trying to possibly bring Caleb Duncan home against a pitcher that has only allowed 2 earned runs all season through 10 1/3 innings coming into tonight's game. Is now actually giving up 3 earned runs when you factor in Thomas Lissy scoring on the sacrifice fly from Tabor Stokes in the last inning. And there is ball 4. Lane Sparks will head down to first base. After 2 outs to start the inning, the Larks have 2 runners on, and we're going to have a short mound meeting here between the pitcher, Jason Davis, and the catcher, Drew Garcia. Next up for the Larks is the designated hitter, Trent Baker. After this game, Baker will be the starting pitcher for game number 2. Will be the first time that he's been the starter on the mound. This one, a line drive, will hit the edge of the netting, and the count will start off 0-1. Duncan takes a large lead over at second base. Sparks occupies first. The pitch on the way. Missing. The count is now 0-2 to Trent Baker. Davis will be looking for his 4th strikeout of today's game. He delivers. And that goes down low for ball 1. Davis just continuing to take his time. That one will miss low and inside, almost hitting Baker, but the count now is 2-2. Duncan's taking another big lead over at second base. He has good quickness on the base path, but Liberal's a team that you got to be careful against. Entering tonight's game, their opponents have had 25 stolen base attempts and been caught 10 times. And Baker has fought back. He will now work against a full count 3-2. The first Larks batter in this game to work against a full count. And the 3rd batter overall. The two BJs that have been faced with one have walked. We'll see what Baker does. Davis kicks and deals inside, and that will be ball 4. Baker was faced with an 0-2 count to start that at bat, but he was able to fight back. And we're going to have a short mound meeting here as the bases are now loaded. Next up will be number 22, Garrett Gruhl. We'll have that for you in just a second as we step away for the mound meeting. So the BJs were able to record 2 outs to start the inning. The bases are now loaded as Garrett Gruhl's up to bat. After that meeting, the BJs don't currently have anybody warming up in their bullpen. So we'll see how long they decide to keep Davis in his 3rd start of the year. First pitch, a hard hit ground ball fielded by the third baseman Landon Bruce, and he will tag third base to retire the side. So the Larks will leave the bases loaded, and now we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning with Drew Grego, Justin Hudson, and Carson Willis up next to bat for the Liberal BJs. The 3, 4, 5 batters are up next for the Liberal BJs, starting the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the first one will be a strike to Drew Grego. Still facing off against Dalton Campbell. Has done well so far, just recorded his first strikeout for the final out of the 2nd inning. He was able to catch Landon Bruce swinging on a 1-2 count. He will start 1-1 against Drew Grego, who grounded out to Campbell in the 1st inning. A little bit high and outside, but they're going to say that one found the zone. It's a 1-2 count. On deck for the BJs is Justin Hudson, and in the hole is Carson Willis. Just missing the zone. 2-2 is now the count. Drew Grego, the team leader in average this season at .436. This one fouled back and out of play. Sixth pitch of the at-bat will be up next. I mentioned Grego will be playing D1 baseball next season at the Big Ten level with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And now he will work against a full count as that one misses up high. Grego grounded out to Campbell on a 2-2 count in his first at-bat. This one hit high into the air. It'll be tracked down by Caleb Duncan. All he needs is gravity, and there it is. There is out number 1. First time tonight, Liberal did not get their leadoff batter on, and now that'll bring up the fourth batter in the order. That is Justin Hudson. He was walked on a full count in his first appearance, which was also his first appearance of the season along with tonight. Hudson just wrapped up his junior season at the D1 level with the Queens Royals. This one fouled back. Count now stands at 1-1. Before Hudson played at Queens, he spent 2 years at Butler Community College. He's now working against a 1-2 count. This one fouled back. And Hudson able to stay alive. This one a line drive going towards Caleb Duncan. He'll take one bounce in front of him. And Liberal has their fourth hit of tonight's game.
Number 39, designated hitter Carson Willis.
Now up is the designated hitter Carson Willis. This one will go to C.J. Reed. He'll throw it over to Tabor Stokes down to first base. And this time the Larks turn the double play to retire the side. Justin Hudson got on through the single on a 1-2 count, but he was part of that double play. And we go now to the top of the fourth inning with Thomas Lissy up next for the Larks. We're halfway through game one of tonight's doubleheader as Thomas Lissy will come up to the plate for the Larks after they had a 3-up, 3-down inning, turning a double play on Justin Hudson and Carson Willis. That one was a 4-6-3 play for the Larks. And still on the mound for the BJs is number 43, Jason Davis. Lissy was able to get a triple and a run in his last at-bat. We'll see what he does here. He'll leave that first one on the outside, and the count will begin 1-0. That triple was Lissy's 12th hit of the season, and the first one this season that wasn't just a base hit. And it was a big one as it almost drove home a run, but the BJs were able to catch Garrett Gruhl going home. But Thomas Lissy would score shortly after that on a Taper Stokes sac fly. He is on deck. (2-0) on the way from Davis. Just a little bit low and inside. That will be 3-0. That one catches the outside part of the plate. That will be the first strike to Thomas Lissy. Lissy's now hitting 5 straight games and he's also hitting 6 of the last 7 that he's appeared in. He'll hit this one high in the air into center field. Ryan will track this one down, and that is out number 1. With 1 out to start the top of the 4th inning, the Larks will now send the shortstop Tabor Stokes up to the plate. And Liberal, they just had a guy lead the bullpen. I'm not sure if it was a guy warming up or just going out there. It was number 4, J.T. Cox, listed on the roster as an outfielder. We'll see how long they decide to keep Jason Davis in the game. They'll likely try to save arms for the remainder of this series as they look for back-to-back wins after that series where they went 1-3 against the Colorado Rough Riders. They were able to win that final game of the series by a final score of 22-12. Now it's a 1-1 game against the Larks. This one a ground ball fielded by Bernath. Gives it down to first base, and there is out number 2. So after the Larks went 3 up, 3 down against the BJs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, BJs will try to do it to the Larks, but Paul Smith will come up to the plate, looking to keep the inning alive. This first one will miss low and outside. The count starts off 1-0 to Paul Smith. Liberal once again finding that outside part of the plate. That is strike 1 to Paul Smith. The junior from Flower Mound, Texas, who plays both catcher and first base for the Larks, but is in right field tonight. This one high into the air will move the count to 1-2 as it lands in foul territory. Davis will deliver the pitch. Half-hearted swing there by Paul Smith. And they say that he won't go around. That is ball 2. Jason Davis has gotten 1 strikeout so far in every inning. Working against a 2-2 count, he delivers, and he swings and misses, and that is out number 3. Going now to the bottom of the 4th inning, the BJs will have batters 6, 7, and 8 up next when we come back. We welcome you back to Brent Gold Field here in Liberal, Kansas, as the Larks are taking on the BJs. The score is 1-1 going into the bottom of the fourth, as the Larks playing in their 5th road game of the season and their first one since they played at Dodge City on June 11th, which was exactly 2 weeks ago today. The Larks will also be looking for their 3rd straight win as the count starts off 0-1 to the catcher Drew Garcia, still facing off against number 32 Dalton Campbell. The Larks, however, do have somebody warming up in their bullpen right now. Looks to be the Dallas, Texas native Jordan Stribling. We'll see how much longer they decide to keep Campbell in the game. He's ahead 0-2 in the count. I believe the longest Campbell has gone this season is 4 innings, which he did in that first game against the Game Day Angels in the last series. Or correction, it was actually in the Larks' 7th game of the season against the Denver Cougars, where Campbell went 5 innings of work, as this one fielded by Thomas Lissy, able to throw it down to first and get out number 1. So the Larks get the leadoff batter out in back-to-back innings, and now up is the center fielder Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan, a freshman from Point Loma Nazarene, also from Phoenix, Arizona. Played in 29 games this season as a freshman. He'll foul this one back, starting the count off 0-1. Campbell delivers this one a little bit high and inside. That is ball 1. Liberals doing a good job putting the ball in place so far tonight. Campbell getting a lot of help from his fielders. The count now stands at 1-2 as that one's fouled back. Jack Ryan now has to fight back. The Larks were able to go 3 up, 3 down in the last inning. Looking to do it again. That one outside is ball 2. Jack Ryan also had a single in his first appearance. On a 1-2 count, he was able to get to second base, but he would be left stranded. Now this one, a wild pitch, moves the count to full. That one just misses on the outside part of the plate. That is going to be ball 4 as Jack Ryan's on base for a second time tonight. Now up for Liberals, the right fielder Kyle Sandner. Played his freshman season at San Joaquin Delta in California. Half-hearted swing. Finds the zone, counts 0-1. That one, a foul tip, goes into the glove of Rios. Now Sanders going to have to work against an 0-2 count. And Campbell gets his second strikeout of the day and his second out of the inning, as the Larks look to leave one runner stranded as they face the final batter in the order, Jake Ortega.
Left fielder, number 8, Jake Ortega.
The runner at first base for Liberal is Jack Ryan, who was walked on a full count. He will try to steal second. Rios throws down to second base. Stokes not in time to tag him. And Liberal now has their 25th successful stolen base attempt of the season. Missing down low, Ortega working up ahead, 2-0. To answer the question in the live chat, Dylan LaRue is not playing in this first game. However, he is expected to be the catcher in game number 2 after this. That last pitch was strike one from Dalton Campbell against Jake Ortega. Again, the Larks do have somebody warming up in the bullpen. That is number 29, Jordan Stribling. We'll see how much longer Campbell goes after this, but he is ahead 2-2. That one curves outside, and now Ortega will work against the full count. Campbell watches second base as Ryan takes a big lead. He'll deliver the pitch. Just missing high and outside. That will be called ball 4. So Liberals now going to go back to the top of their order for the third time in tonight's game.
Number 3, Matt Bernath, shortstop.
And now up to bat is number 3, Matt Bernath. He is 1 for 2 so far in tonight's game. Had a single on a 2-1 count to start the game, and also scored a run. And then on his next appearance, he flew out to Caleb Duncan in center field. Count 0-1, now 1-1 as that one misses high. This one, a line drive landing in front of Duncan in center field. He'll try to throw it home. They'll go to the Larks cutoff, and sliding home safely is Jack Ryan, and the BJs are back on top in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Third baseman, number 15, Landon.
That is Bernath's 6th RBI of the season, and out to bat is number 15, Landon Bruce. That one breaks into the zone, starting the count off 0-1. Bruce has already been struck out once tonight, and before that he had a ground out over to Tabor Stokes. That one misses low and inside. That is going to be called ball 1. Foul tip goes into the glove of Lorenzo Rios. It is now 1-2. Bruce trying to avoid his second strikeout of the game. The first one was also on a 1-2 count. Campbell delivers. And again, the Larks just missed that outside part of the plate. We've seen it a couple times. It's gotten in that zone for Liberal, and they've called it a strike. And the Larks try getting in that zone. They think that it is, but this time they catch him swinging. That is out number 3. Liberal does go back on top in that inning. After Jack Ryan was walked, he would be brought home from an RBI single by Matt Bernath. And Liberal holds a 2-1 lead as we go into the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back in just a second. Batters 8, 9, and 1 are up next for the Hayes Larks as we start the top of the 5th inning. Lorenzo Rios is at the plate, still facing off against the starter, Jason Davis. After Liberal took the lead in the last inning from an RBI single. This one will be line foul by Rios, and the count now stands 0-2. Liberal just trying to preserve their lead in what is one of their lowest scoring games of the season. Coming off of a series where they played 4 games against Colorado, and in all those games, one team or the other scored double-digit runs. That one just misses up high. It'll be called ball 1. Missing down low. The count now stands at 2-2. Rios hits this one high in the air into right field. Sander will run after it, but this one will be caught by the center fielder, Jack Ryan, and that is out number 1.
Batting in the 9th position for the Larks, number
And
1.
looks like we are having some connection issues right now. We're going to try to get that fixed for you guys real fast. Count is 0-1 to C.J. Reed. He swings and misses, now 0-2. Reed fouls back, and the count's still 0-2. Again, we are having some connection issues with our camera. We're currently working on getting that fixed for you guys. If we can't get it fixed, we will move to an audio-only stream. It's a 1-2 count to C.J. Reed. He grounds this one over to Grego at second base. He will throw it to first, and that is out number 2.
Top of the lineup for the Larks, number 12, Caleb Duncan, the center fielder.
And it looks like we have fixed the problem. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the remainder of the game, but it's 2 outs now for the Larks, and they are back to the top of their order with Caleb Duncan. The count is 0-1. Duncan has reached base once tonight. It was in his last appearance. He was able to get on base through a fielder's choice, stole second, and also made it to third. He will work against a 1-1 count. The next pitch on the way is up high, and Duncan is tied in the count at 2-1. Hard hit ball into right field. Running after it is Sandner. He will run up and make the catch, and that is 3 away in the top of the 5th inning. And for Liberal, they will have Drew Grego, Justin Hudson, and Carson Willis up next to bat when we come back. Back here at Brent Gold Field in Liberal, Kansas, starting the bottom of the 5th inning. Count will begin 0-1 to Drew Grego, and the Larks did make a pitching change for Dalton Campbell. The new pitcher into the game is number 29, Jordan Stribling, which is going to make this game his 7th appearance of the season. He's been pretty successful so far, a .268 opponent batting average on the year, 18 strikeouts so far, including 14 in his last 4 appearances. Stribling's been very successful on the mound as well, with holding his opponents to 2 hits or less in every appearance this season. He's now working against a 1-1 count on Drew Grego. This next one hit high in the air, goes out of play, and it's 1-2. Grego so far today 0 for 2. Has had a ground out to Dalton Campbell on the pitcher's mound, and also flew out to Caleb Duncan in center field. That one finds the outside part of the plate, and the Larks get the strikeout to start the 5th inning. They've been looking for that zone all day, and they finally get it. And now up is Justin Hudson. Hudson has reached base twice so far in today's game. He's walked and also had a single. Swing and a miss, starts the count off 0-1. This is Justin Hudson's first game of the season after playing his junior year at Queens. Before that, he played 2 seasons at Butler Community College, where he was a 2-time Jayhawk Conference selection. And he was also a first-team all-conference selection in his high school days out in Colorado Springs. Count is 0-2 with one away. Carson Willis is on deck for the BJs, and in the hole is Drew Garcia. Stribling delivers. That one takes a bounce down low, and that's ball one. Stribling looking for back-to-back strikeouts, and he does just that. It curves back into the zone, and there's two away here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
The designated hitter, number 39, Carson Willis.
So the Larks will look for another 3-up, 3-down inning. They've already gotten one tonight in the third, as that'll bring up Carson Willis, the designated hitter. The count will begin at 0-1 to Willis, who has had an RBI single in tonight's game and was also the last out when the Larks had their first 3-up, 3-down inning. Stribling puts that one on the outside, and it'll be called ball one against Carson Willis, who redshirted this last season with Arkansas. Was the 412th ranked prospect overall by Perfect Game. He'll ground this one over to Tabor Stokes. Throwing down to first base, Garrett Gruhl will tag the runner, and that is out number 3. 2 strikeouts to start the inning, and then a ground out from Tabor Stokes to Garrett Gruhl will be out number 3. And we'll see what the Larks can do next as they try to work the comeback in the top of the 6th inning.
Larks. Larks.
We're at the home stretch of game number 1 in tonight's doubleheaders. The Larks taking on the Liberal BJs down in southwest Kansas, with Lane Sparks coming up to the plate to start the top of the 6th inning. Still working against the starter, number 43, Jason Davis, starting the count off 1-0. Liberal does have one guy warming up in their bullpen. We'll take a look at who that is in just a second. Down low, that's going to be called strike 1 to Lane Sparks, and on deck is Trent Baker. After that, Garrett Gruhl will come up to bat in this inning. And a swing and a miss, and that moves the count to 1-2. As Sparks looks to get on base, right at 500 in his on-base percentage entering tonight's game. The 1-2 on the way from Davis is going to be a swing and a miss, and that is going to be out number 1 to start the 6th inning. Or actually, correction, they're going to say that was a foul ball. That was a surprise to everybody in this ballpark. After I realized it, there were a couple of people in the crowd that questioned if that was a strikeout or a foul ball. The count stays at 1-2 to Lane Sparks. And that one finds the outside part of the plate, and that one's going to be called strike 3. Liberals caught Hayes looking in that part of the zone multiple times tonight. And with 1 away, Trent Baker is going to make his way up to the plate.
Number 2, designated hitter, Trent Baker.
Baker got on base in his previous appearance. That was in the 3rd inning. He was walked on a full count. We'll see what he does here. Trent Baker entered this game with a .265 average, having 13 hits on the season. That one misses outside. The catcher, Garcia, tried to frame it. Count will begin at 1-0. Next pitch again on the outside part of that zone, and that one finds it 1-1. The catcher wants it down low. Baker takes a swing at this one. Rolling foul. The count is 1-2. After Trent Baker, Garrett Gruhl will be up to bat. Thomas Lissy's on deck for the Larks. As Baker looks to get on base for the 2nd time tonight, he will line this one foul. Count will stay at 1-2 for the junior from Spring, Texas. A reminder, we'll have game number 2 after this first game as part of the doubleheader, and Trent Baker will be the starting pitcher for the Larks. The next pitch, again, finding the outside part of that plate, and there is now 2 away. Baker, a little bit of frustration as that one was called strike 3. Like we said, Liberal's been finding that zone all night. And the catcher, Drew Garcia, has also done a really good job of framing it. There's now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning, and now up is Garrett Gruhl. First pitch finds the zone, low and outside, ball or strike 1. Gruhl was able to put the ball in play in his previous appearance in the 3rd inning. That one, however, would be what led to the final out because of a fielder's choice. Count now stands at 1-1 to Garrett Gruhl. Just wrapped up his first season at UTSA. Team that won the Austin Regional, knocking out one of the top teams in the nation, the Texas Longhorns. And they would end up going to the Super Regional of the NCAA tournament. This one gets away from the catcher, tying the count up 2-1. after the last game in that series against the Game Day Angels, we actually went down to the field and got to interview Garrett Gruhl, and that was one of the things I asked him about is this last year that he's had in the sport of baseball where he was a part of the Larks NBC World Series team and got named an NBC All-American. And then after his first season at UTSA, I asked him what everything's been like for him, and he said he has no words and that he's real grateful for all that he's gotten to experience. He will now work against a 3-1 count as that one bounced low and outside. This one fouled at the plate. And it's a full count from Jason Davis to Garrett Gruhl. Liberal does again have a guy warming up in the bullpen. It's a little bit tough to make out who it is right now, but we'll see if he possibly comes in for the 7th inning for a potential save. Davis fouls this one near, Gruhl fouls this one near the BJ's dugout. This one will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat up next. Low and outside. Garrett Gruhl will walk on a 7-pitch at bat. And Drew Garcia and Jason Davis will have another short meeting, but next up to bat for the Larks is the third baseman, Thomas Lissy. Lissy 1 for 2 in this game so far. He had the triple in the 2nd inning, which almost brought home a run, and then he was brought home after that from a sac fly by Tabor Stokes. That triple was the first hit for Thomas Lissy this season that wasn't a single. He now has 12 on the year and has hit in 5 straight games. Davis will deliver the pitch. Low and inside, but they're going to call that one strike one.
15, Thomas Lassie, third baseman.
That triple by Lissy went into right field, so the second baseman, Drew Grego, is going to play closer to the grass. So this one a throw back to first base, and they're going to get Garrett Gruhl in time to retire the side. So we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning as Liberal will look to get some insurance runs and look for a win in game number 1. We'll be back in just a second. Jordan Stribling went 3 up, 3 down in the bottom half of the 5th inning. He is back to the mound for the bottom half of the 6th inning, facing off first against the catcher, Drew Garcia. The Liberals held this 2-1 lead since the 4th inning. First pitch misses down low for ball 1. Garcia's had 2 groundouts so far in tonight's game. Both of those have been on the left side of the infield. 1 to Stokes and 1 to Lissy. This one hit high into the air. Gruel's going to run after it, and so will Rios. And this one almost caught by Rios near the netting. But that's going to move the count to 1-1. Always a tough play to make from that position. Rios had to get very close to the net, which is blowing into the field a little bit, as we got wind blowing from first base into left field. But either way, the Larks will work with a 1-1 count against Drew Garcia. This one a half-hearted swing. They'll say he didn't go around. And that ties the count up at 2-1. This one a hard hit ball into left field. Sparks will run back for it, and he's going to slow down at the wall, and this one will go over the wall, and that's going to be a home run for Drew Garcia. 14th home run of the season for the Liberal BJs, and for Drew Garcia, that's his first home run of the season. And I'm not quite sure what happened on that first base side, but something happened there with Garrett Gruel with the field umpire, and then Frank Leo stepped in. I'm not sure, again, what it was. But now the home plate umpire and the field umpire are going to have a discussion. We'll see what that is in just a second. It's a little bit unclear what happened, but looking back at that replay, both Gruel and the field umpire were walking back to their position, and a short altercation occurred. Again, we don't know exactly what was said, but the Larks are going to make some fielding changes. Lane Sparks is going to come in, and it looks like he's going to play first base now, and going into left field is number 4, Brady Kreitzer. We go back to action now. The batter next for the BJs is number 21, Jack Ryan. Center fielder has had a single and a walk so far tonight. He's one of 2 players for the BJs team from Point Loma Nazarene. Count will begin 1-0. Now this one goes inside, and now it's 2-0 to Jack Ryan, following the solo home run from Drew Garcia. Stribling will take his time, as Jack Ryan is out of the batter's box currently. It's a 2-0 count as Jordan Stribling tries to fight back. He gets this one in the zone, and that's going to be strike 1. Stribling had a strong performance in his first inning, going 3 up, 3 down, including 2 strikeouts. He will now look for another one as he's working against a 2-2 count on Jack Ryan. This one a fly ball goes foul. And Ryan able to stay alive working against the 2-2 count. Pitch on the way to Rios. This one, a hard ground ball fielded by Thomas Lissy. Has to make the throw from foul territory. And this one will get away from Lane Sparks, and making his way to second is Ryan. And the Larks will throw it back in after the error that advances Jack Ryan to second base. For the BJs, that'll now bring up the right fielder Kyle Sandner
Right fielder.
from Fairfield, California. He is 0 for 2 so far tonight, struck out swinging in his last appearance and also grounded out in the second inning. This one fouled behind him, makes the count 0-1. That one finds the zone, and now Sandner has to fight back against the 0-2 count. Stribling watching second base as he delivers the pitch. And that one finds the outside corner of the zone, and the Larks get out number 1. Third strikeout of the day for Jordan Stribling, as that brings up the final batter in the order for Liberal, Jake Ortega. And now both Liberals coach and Kyle Sandner are having a discussion with the home plate umpire. Not sure what this one's about. But Sanders struck out looking as that one caught the outside part of the plate. I wonder if that's what it's about, if he doesn't think that one should have been a strike. And now they're going to bring the field umpire for discussion. Not sure exactly what this one is for. But they're going to go back to action either way. It is 1 out with a runner over at second base, which is Jack Ryan. And now to bat is number 8, Jake Ortega. And now the umpire going to have a discussion with Larks head coach Frank Leo. And now after a discussion with both coaches, they're ready to go back to action. Ortega's watched twice tonight, looking to possibly advance the runner home. Ortega's got 8 RBIs on the season. That first one misses down low, and that's going to be called ball 1. This next inning will be the 7th and final inning of the first game of the doubleheader. So for the fans that want to tune into the second game, what we're going to do is we'll end this stream and we'll have a second video up after this on the YouTube channel if you want to tune into that. It will be up after this. I believe it'll be about 30 minutes in between games. It's a 1-1 count as this one, a line drive that goes over the head of C.J. Reed, going into the gap between right and center field. This one's going to score a run as Jake Ortega will stop at second base, and he's got the RBI, and Liberal's going to go up 4-1. Liberals now back to the top of their order for the fourth time in today's game. That is the shortstop Matt Bernath coming up to the plate, 2 for 3 on the day. He's gotten 2 singles, a run, and an RBI. And now Keith Harper is going to make his way out to the mound for a short meeting with Jordan Stribling, and we will take a break as well. So after the meeting, Liberal is back to the top of their order with Matt Bernath up to bat. He's gotten 2 singles so far tonight and improving his average this season. He entered at .316. And he will begin with a 1-0 count as that one goes high and outside. Doesn't look like the Larks are warming anybody up in a game like this with shortened innings. And now caught by Tabor Stokes. He will throw it over to second base and throws it over to C.J. Reed. And that is going to be out number 3. Liberal, however, does score 2 insurance runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and they need 3 outs to beat the Larks. We'll see what the Larks can do. Thomas, let's see, will be back up to bat next when we come back. Jason Davis will try to go for a complete game tonight in Game 1 as he is back to the mound for the BJs, facing off first against the third baseman for the Larks, Thomas Lissy. Making his 4th plate appearance of the game, he was faced with an 0-1 count in the last inning, but the BJs were able to get a pickoff out for out number 3, so Lissy is back up. First pitch on the way. Lissy thought about going around, but that one catches the inside part of the plate. It is 0-1 to start. This time it looks like the catcher Garcia wants it on the outside. That is where it will go, but a little too low. That's going to be ball one. After Thomas Lissy, the Larks will send Tabor Stokes and Paul Smith up to the plate, as they look to keep this game alive and try to win their third game in a row. After that pitch, the count is tied 2-1 to Thomas Lissy. Ground ball. The first baseman making a diving attempt for it. He doesn't get it, and the Larks have a leadoff hit here in the last inning with Thomas Lissy. His 5th multi-hit game of the season, and now up is the shortstop Tabor Stokes.
Shortstop number 6, Tabor Stokes.
Now a short meeting here before the BJs. They're going to have a talk with Jason Davis. And I can see somebody making their way out to the field from the bullpen. So they'll have a pitching change. We'll see who that is when we come back. So after the Larks got a leadoff hit to start the top of the 7th inning, Liberal will make their first call to the bullpen of the day, and they will bring in the freshman from Stockton, California that played at San Joaquin Delta this last season, Aiden Bowman, for his 8th appearance of the season. He is the leader for the BJs in strikeouts with 20 on the year, holding his opponents to a 118 batting average and a 3.27 ERA for him on the season. No outs, Thomas Lissy over at first base, and the first pitch is strike one to Tabor Stokes. Stokes has put the ball in play twice so far tonight. He also has an RBI to go along with it. That next one will be called ball one. This next one they'll put on the outside. That moves the count to 2-1. Stokes, the Larks leader in hits so far this season with 18. He's hit in 10 of the 13 games that he's played in this season, including 6 multi-hit games on the year. Missing up high, the count is now 3-1. Larks need 3 runs to keep the game alive in this shortened game because of the doubleheader. Stokes swings and misses, and now he's going to work against a full count. The pitch on the way. Stokes takes a swing and misses, and that is going to be out number 1. The next batter up for the Larks is a pinch hitter. They're going to bring in Jackson Babcock.
Number 25, right fielder, Paul Smith.
That first pitch misses up high. That is going to be ball 1. So this is Babcock's 13th game of the season that he's going to play in. Next pitch misses up high, now 2-0. Babcock has been a key for the Larks in getting on base. He's been walked in 6 straight games, and he's also gotten on base in every game that he's appeared in this season, as he will now work against a 3-0 count. That one catches high at the high outside corner of the zone, and that's strike 1 to Jackson Babcock. This one goes up high, and Babcock will head down to first base. Larks have 2 runners on with just 1 out, and next up is Lorenzo Rios up to bat.
Number 21, catcher, Lorenzo Rios.
So we'll see what Rios does right here. Put the ball in play in a fly ball to center field in his last at bat. So on a half-hearted swing, the third baseman's going to run back for it, and he's able to turn around in time and make the grab. Bruce thought he had to go back a little further, but turning around just in time, he was able to make the grab, and now there's 2 away. Next up now for the Larks will be another pinch hitter. That's going to be number 26, Dylan LaRue.
Number 26, Dylan LaRue.
So the Larks will have 2 pinch hitters this inning, as LaRue will start off 1-0 in the count. LaRue has hit in 6 of his last 7 games, and was also able to get his second multi-hit game of the season in that last series against Game Day. He will work against a 2-0 count, looking to get on base and then bring the Larks back to the top of their order. This one a hard hit ball into right field. Going into the corner, this one looks like it's going to go foul, and it is. Good hit ball there by LaRue. Put a lot of power on it, trying to angle it towards that 320 mark in right field, but just was unable to keep it fair. Right down the middle, that's strike 2. As the BJs will look for their 2nd straight win and also 8th on the season. The pitch, hard hit ball into center field. Ryan will run up for it, and he makes the grab, and that is going to be out number 3. Liberal wins game 1 by a final score of 4-1, scoring the first run of the game in the first inning, but the Larks were able to respond after that thanks to Thomas Lisley scoring from an RBI single. But Liberal scored the final 3 runs of the game and was able to control from that point on with strong pitching and fielding as well. And with their bats, they had 3 hits in that final inning for them, able to score 2 insurance runs and get their 8th win on the season. Larks now stand at 10-3-1 on the year and 7-3 in RMBL play, and Liberals 8-6 on the year. And we'll have game number 2 of the doubleheader up next after this. And what we will do is we're going to end this stream, and we will jump on to another one after this. So we'll be back in just a moment here on the Larks Network.